Welcome into a bonus episode of the Third and Thirsty podcast. I'm your host, Alex Bell, usually representing the Denver Broncos. To my left, I got Omar Rubio, usually representing the Los Angeles Chargers. To my right, Edgar Larios, Raiders, wherever the hell they're playing next year. We're going to get into something a little bit different here on this quick, short bonus episode. Usually we're talking about football related to the Broncos, Chargers, and Raiders. But our other expertise, as we have in the name, Third and Thirsty, our other expertise is beer. So today we're going to rank, we're going to do a draft. And we're going to draft the best times to have a beer. So we're not talking about brands of beer. We already know what the best brand of beer is, which is Figueroa Mountain, right down the street from us here in Builton, California. But we're going to talk about the best times to have a Figueroa Mountain beer. We're going to do a snake draft. We're going to start with Omar. Go ahead. First number one overall pick. Hit us.
Well, the reason I got the first overall pick is I'm the oldest. Usually it's,
Barely.
age before beauty, but in this case it's both.
Nice.
Sure. Let's go.
Very
Whatever
good.
makes you happy, bro.
So we're picking the best occasion to have a beer. For me, the after work beer just hits so hard.
It's pretty solid.
The after work beer, long day work, it doesn't matter what type of work you're in, whether you're in office work, administrative work, things like that, or out in construction, doing maintenance, it does not matter. After a long day of work, long week of work, that after work beer, as soon as you get home and crack it open, just hits different.
Yeah, it's pretty solid. You're right. Whatever job you work, I've worked all kinds of different jobs. I've worked office jobs, hard labor jobs. You get a different type of tired, right? Office job, you're definitely more tired mentally. Labor job, you're just beat after a
Beat
day.
down, yeah.
That first beer when you get home, it definitely hits, for sure. But my first pick is even better than that. And this is going to be the first beer that you have after a long drive when you're on vacation. So specifically, I was just thinking back to the last time we took our daughter to Disneyland. That's usually about a 3.5 hour drive from here. When you got a 2-year-old that's potty training and a lot of traffic, that turns into a 6-hour drive pretty quick with a lot of traffic and a lot of stops. So when you're married to someone like my wife, who is very particular about getting into hotel rooms, not only do you have to check in, but you have to unpack everything and get everything organized and ready for the next day. It's a whole ordeal. And then get Gigi bathed and ready to go. So that whole ordeal, after being on the road for 6 hours, I went down to the nearest bar, which around Disneyland, unfortunately, there isn't a ton. So I had a little bit of a walk, ordered that first beer, and had a shot on top of that one. And yeah, that one definitely hit different after that long drive. And then also you're celebrating the fact that the next couple of days you're going to be on vacation. So
True.
There's definitely there's a few reasons why that beer is top tier.
Yeah, I agree. Mine's gonna be something that I love to do at least once a year, especially during the spring and the summer. Is when you go camping and you're setting up your tent. While you're setting up your tent, just having a beer, because sometimes it's a fucking pain in the ass just putting up a tent.
Yes.
And if you go with a lot of family and you're not setting up just one tent, you're setting up everybody's tent while everybody's yelling at you, do this, do that, what about this, what about that? I'm like, dude, you're just drinking your beer, just hoping you don't blow up, because damn.
That's really solid. That kind of goes, I'm going to lump this in, so I'm not going to use it, but it goes in line with assembling something that comes in a box.
True.
And you have to send like a table or a chair or whatever. Having a beer to get you through it. Same thing like doing the tent.
Yeah, reading through a manual to try to put something together. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, that's a really solid pick.
Nice.
Snake draft, you get the next pick.
So I go again. Coming up soon. I mean, what is it, 4 months? But game day. When you wake up on Sunday mornings and the game's about to start, you open that cold one right before the whole stress starts.
Kind of ease your way into the game.
Yeah,
definitely. That's definitely a good one. We're still so far away from when that actually you get to open that beer.
Yeah.
You're right. That's something that we wait for all year long.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what, that first game of the year, getting those beers, even though you've been drinking before, but still not for that reason. That does hit different.
Those are definitely two really good picks. I'm gonna go on the line of camping, and this is gonna be that first beer in the morning when you're fishing. So, say if you wake up, you got an early day, you're gonna maybe your campsite's right along the water. All you have to do is grab your pole, grab a couple beers to the shore with you. Maybe it's just a little quick 10-foot walk. Throw out your line, crack open that cold beer at like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, knowing that you're not gonna have shit to do that day. You could just sit back and relax. That's a top tier beer for sure.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah. Nothing more relaxing than cracking open a beer and going fishing first thing in the morning. Nice, quiet. Nobody's up yet.
Nice and quiet.
Good serenity going in there.
Put on a podcast like maybe Third and Thirsty podcast and just let it rip, man.
Yep. All right, so I'm up. That was a good one. Yeah. And I got 2 picks coming to me. So all right, for me, I figured you would have taken this one, Alex. That golf beer.
Golf beers are pretty solid.
I mean, they come in bunches.
Pre-round or during round? I'm not going to take the one that you don't pick, but which one's better?
That during round.
Okay.
Because you could start off like, oh, I'm not going to drink. I'm going to try to play this one straight. And then you just like shitty. And then you're like, give me a freaking beer. I need a beer.
After the second hole.
Yep. And then after that, you just kind of forget about it. So I think that's why it's just like, it's relaxing, forgiving. Beer is forgiving.
Yeah.
At that point. So yeah, I thought you would have taken it. That golf beer.
That's a good one. That definitely is a good one.
Snake draft. So I get my second one. That beer by the pool on vacation.
Okay.
Beer by the pool. Go up to that swim up bar, grab a beer.
Fancy. You're on a fancy vacation.
That's what I'm saying. That fancy vacation when you get to vacation and relax.
Real vacation.
Yes. So you get to relax, swim up bar, grab a beer, and just they start flowing from there.
Yeah, that's really solid. Yeah, when you first said that, I was like, yeah, I had a couple of beers when we were at Disneyland in the pool, and it was cool, but it wasn't top tier. But yeah, that resort beer at the swim bar, that's really good. If they have a good selection. When we went into Mexico, you had Dos Equis, which is okay, but after the third day of only drinking Dos Equis, you get a little tired of Dos Equis.
Well, that's why I said that, that first day of the swim up bar,
perfect.
Those always hit
definitely
a little harder.
That's definitely a solid choice. Okay. A couple of good ones there. I got a couple in my head that are rattling around here, and I'm trying to come up with the best one. You know what? I'm going to go with airport beer. That's another one that's tied to vacation,
nice.
And it could be after a long drive. Being here in Lompoc, we're lucky if we get to fly out of Santa Barbara, but more often than not, you're flying out of LAX to save some money.
Or even if you're Mexico, then you're driving all the way down to TJ and trying to save a little bit more money.
Even longer.
Fun. Yeah. So yeah, airport beer is a good beer.
You have the long drive. You have to get through security after parking and dealing with all that shit. You finally get to the bar and you could go and pay $18 for a tall beer. Although I do have to say
$30.
Yeah. Sometimes I do shy away from beer at airport bars just because I don't want to spend half the plane flight and then getting up and going to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Or that time when you're waiting to take off and you're just sitting in your seat and you can't get up.
You can't even get up and go
until you get to altitude. So that is like torturous if you've had 5-6 beers and you're just sitting there just praying you don't piss your pants on the flight and get kicked off before you even get going. So maybe a beer and then switch over to maybe like a whiskey or an old fashioned or something.
Not bad.
Yeah.
For me, one that to this day, like it's one of the things that I love to do. It's been a while since like 2018. Is when I go to visit my family in Mexico, and when I land and like we start drinking in the plaza, which is basically like
I've seen Coco. Try to explain it to the white guy. I've seen
the
Coco.
Middle of town.
Yeah, the middle of town. But you're like literally have a bucket of beer with you, and you will pop open that first one, and you just around your family that you haven't seen in years.
That's dope.
You're catching
No, that's
up.
perfect.
Like
That might be number one, man. You nailed it.
you're just having a good time.
Yeah.
Like, you're just somewhere that's not. You're just stress free almost. Basically, you're just with your family, enjoying yourself, listening to music, having good food. Like there's tacos right next to you. Yeah,
That's a good one, man. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's super solid.
I
Okay,
don't
finish it
know.
off. Your last one.
2. Yeah, you get 2.
Yeah, we're doing
Last
4
one.
each, so this is your.
I was gonna. You actually took the one, or Omar took mine because when I went to Vegas. But I'm trying to think. Honestly, I can't. I really can't. Mostly all of them were like vacation wise, basically.
What's the best time to have a beer at home? Not with no football going on.
I was gonna even say like after work, but
I already
said
took it.
it.
You already
Yeah, I
got
already
that.
took it, but
Come on, man. You got to follow up that last one, the family Mexico
Yeah,
beer.
dude,
You got to follow that
you
one.
nailed
That's a
that
solid
one.
bro.
yeah, I mean that was
Got to round it off. Got to round off your team.
But and you also already said the fishing one because I was gonna say fishing, but you already said when you go camping and fish. Damn. Or when you have a bonfire and you're
Nice.
just having like you're just same thing, but in a bonfire with your friends and stuff. Like late nights playing those oldies or freaking corridos or whatever people listen to, just with their family.
Those are good. Those are good too.
Those are two solid ones. My last one, I've got a few to pick from, but this one always hits. A beer after you've taken a long break from drinking beer. So if you're trying to maybe lose a couple pounds, you don't drink beer for a couple months. That first beer back, maybe you allow yourself to have a little cheat day or whatever, and you're gonna have a cold beer, even if it's just sitting watching TV. That first beer that you haven't had a beer in a couple months, that one definitely hits. Also because your tolerance is way down.
Especially with you probably drinking the lizard's mouth and just
Oh,
getting
dude.
wasted off of one beer.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the top tier beer like Lizard's Mouth. So I'll have that Lizard's Mouth and definitely
Call
feel,
it a night.
yeah,
after
definitely
that.
feeling pretty good after a couple months and not having a beer. That actually might be my favorite time to have a beer because I've had my breaks from beer, and when that first one back, it hits like nothing else.
Once it hits your lips, it's just so good.
It's just so good. All right, last one. Round it off,
I'm
man.
super surprised that you guys didn't take this one. I was
know.
holding it in my back pocket, hoping that nobody would, and it
Better be
played
a
out
good
right
one,
with
man.
me. Barbecue beers.
Barbecue beers are
Barbecue
solid.
beers. Oh my god, that is the best time. A lot of the times I barbecue just because I want to go outside and drink. Then my wife doesn't talk shit if I go outside and drink. She's in the seat because she's inside.
That's for the married guys with kids. When you that opportunity to just go out in the back
But-
and take
You're like,
have
as
a
long
break.
as I
And,
have
beers.
control.
No, but barbecue beers, it's like beers and barbecue kind of go together. It's just
they
Definitely.
always go together.
Definitely.
They always
so
go
I think
together.
Yeah,
I'm
that
s-
is. Yeah, I'm
surprised you guys didn't
Yeah.
think of that one. The barbecue beers, especially because we all like barbecuing.
especially after a long weekend of barbecue.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had plenty on Saturday for sure.
Yep.
Or Sunday, yesterday. We had plenty on Sunday.
Yeah. Sunday.
Plenty of barbecue
True.
beers. Yeah,
So that rounds it out.
I think we had a pretty good list. Any honorable mentions?
Tailgate beers. Nobody really mentioned. Or stadium beers. Stadium beers, I would say.
Stadium
They're
beers are good.
expensive as
Very
hell. I think
expensive.
that's why we all shied away from them.
Yeah.
Because they're super expensive. But stadium beers, you're at the game. You're not gonna have a beer.
Oh, you out. Yeah,
So you're gonna go. You're probably most of the time you're gonna go a little over the top because you don't go to the stadium every week. We
Mhm.
only live in kind of far away from any stadium near us. Is what 2-3 hours away. So we don't get to go as often as we would hope to. So
That's true. Yeah, we don't get. It's not like we live in a city where we could just be like, "Hey, you want to go to the game today?"
exactly.
That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It's something we have to plan for. Maybe get a hotel for.
And I think that's why stadium
Yeah.
beers kind of hit.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a good
Even
one.
more
I feel.
special. One that I see on these lists a lot. That's why I didn't use it because it's beat to death, but it is a good one. Hotel balcony beers. If you're on vacation and you're sitting on a hotel balcony and maybe it's the end of the day and maybe wife's asleep already and you're just bring out a couple of beers to sit on the patio.
Yeah,
That one hits
especially in like areas where it's a little warmer in the afternoons.
for sure.
You know, Vegas,
Or at the end of
things
the
like
night,
that.
man. That's when I like to have it.
Yeah,
Especially if you have a nice view. Um,
Oh, yeah.
it's not like
True.
I'm not trying to flex here because this is the only one time I've done this. But our honeymoon, when we had a ocean view balcony, bringing out a couple of beers and just sitting out there and got the waves crashing. Have a couple beers.
dude, I did that
Tough to beat.
on my honeymoon, but in the morning.
Oh, I definitely did.
Yeah, went out. The wife's still asleep. We just got married, so wife's still asleep. You know, because I put it down like that. So I go outside, vacation, get it going. Shower beers. Nobody
Shower beers are
mentioned the
pretty
shower
solid.
beers.
Yeah.
That's another one that's kind of beat to death, but it is a top. And that's the reason why is because it's top tier.
Yeah,
One that I just thought about. I mean, I really haven't gone to Disneyland in such a long time, but last year I went to the fair here in town or in
Mhm.
Lompoc, and they have the beer gardens. You could actually walk around with your beer. So that beer, when
Mhm.
you're like, I mean, I don't have kids, so I don't have nobody to really pay, take care of.
take
but
care of. Yeah.
when you're behind all your kids, you're like, you know what, I need a drink. Have that beer.
Disneyland beers do hit pretty well, especially in California Adventure. Now that you could just stop and grab a beer anywhere and walk around with it. When you need a refill and you finally get to a place where you can do it.
Especially when you've been dealing with your child all day. I
Yeah.
love my kids, but you know they still push me over that edge here and there.
It's not easy, especially when you're at Disneyland and they're going 8. So
Yep.
that's another good one.
Or the concert beers.
Concert beers are always good
I
too.
feel like that's like stadium beers. They kind of
Yeah.
go together.
They're in the same realm.
Yeah.
Definitely in the same realm. A pre-concert or pre-game beer is always good
Pre-gaming,
too.
yeah. Nobody said pre-game beer. That could have
Pre-game
gone
beer.
with not just football,
Almost
basketball.
anything.
It could have game with anything.
Yeah.
That would have been a good one too.
Yeah.
Or that the last call beer.
A last
Last
call
call
beer
beer.
In a bar.
When
A lot
most
of
than likely that's you shouldn't be getting one, but yet you
I
still
was
do
just
it.
about to say.
One.
it could go either way. Whether you should or
Yeah.
shouldn't have that beer, because that might throw just over the top. And
Especially at our age. I can't remember the last time I had a last call beer, but
That would have been me last Saturday, but good thing I didn't go out. I'm glad I didn't go out.
it's
I
been a
should-
long time since I've had a last call beer. If I'm at the bar, I'm still home by 10:30, 11. But a last call beer, they definitely are pretty solid. Any other ones? We pretty much call it.
yeah, I mean, the free wedding beers. Any free beer is good, but
Oh,
those
any
the
free-
wedding
yeah.
or big
An open bar beer.
gathering.
I haven't
Open
experienced that,
bar
so
beers.
Can't say.
Speaking of open bar beers, any event that has a bar where you have to go up and pay, big fail, man. I don't like if you go to a wedding and it's like, oh, it's a cash bar, you got to pay $6-7 for a beer. That's a huge bummer. That's a huge bummer. If you're gonna splurge on something for your wedding, get an open bar,
Open.
please.
Yeah, I mean, I've always seen beer be free, but not actual. There's been some that are not the drinks you have to pay, but not the beer.
Hard alcohol.
Yeah, just the hard alcohol. But when they're open bar, oh man,
My wedding was
That's
definitely
dangerous.
open bar, and we went through plenty.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know,
Same here.
some venues do require that you buy alcohol from them, so
Yeah.
those you kind of get a pass because it's kind of required. But
Yeah, but even then, like we'd had that for my sister's quinceañera, but my dad bought like $1,000 worth of tickets and just
Oh,
was
yeah.
handing them out
Just
to
handing
people
them out.
throughout the night.
see, that's
So,
the way to go.
yeah, he was just like, nah, I'm
Oh.
gonna hand them out throughout the night. So my dad was like the head of the show that night, because even though it was my sister's quinceañera, he was the one with the alcohol tickets, just handing them out. He was like, Oprah, you get a drink, you get a drink.
I feel like we keep going down this path. Let's hide some of these topics in our back pocket for another bonus episode. Because we can keep going, man. We could have this conversation for hours. So
or as long as the beers last.
yeah, definitely. So thank you for checking in on this bonus episode. Again, like, subscribe, leave a comment. Maybe we'll do a couple more of these. Have some fun, especially during the off season when we have a lot of things that we need to
Definitely.
scrape and talk for. So if you're finding us and you're not a football fan, but maybe want another podcast to
You're a
listen
beer
to,
fan.
yeah. Third and Thirsty Podcast. Hit the like, subscribe button. Appreciate you checking in.
Check us out. Let us know if you're who you think had the best team or the best team, I guess, of times of beer to drink.
Yep. Who had the best
So-
draft?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So let us know.
Yeah. Let us know in the comments. And then Follow us on Instagram, Third and Thirsty Podcast. Yeah. Thanks again. Cheers.
Cheers.